Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news coming out of Valley Parade, and that is in the way of first team manager and assistant manager Graham Alexander and Chris Lucchetti both signing new 3-year contracts with Bradford City, keeping them at Valley Parade until the summer of 2028. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes on today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts, opinions and reaction to this news? It's kind of come seemingly out of nowhere at 7:33 p.m. on a Tuesday. There wasn't a plan for a video to come out on this channel. I've already uploaded my League One predictions early today over on the main channel, so you're getting a bonus, more SHD video, but I'm absolutely delighted with this news. The article does then read, Alexander and Lucchetti extend City tenure. Bradford City AFC is delighted to announce first team manager Graham Alexander and assistant manager Chris Lucchetti have signed new 3-year contracts, keeping them at the University of Bradford Stadium until the summer of 2028. Alexander, who famously guided the Bantams to a first automatic promotion in 26 years during his first full season in charge last term, took over the reins in November 2023. Prior to securing our return to League One, Alexander was crowned Sky Bet League 2 Manager of the Season, building on his February Manager of the Month award. Taking control of 91 games to date in the City dugout, Alexander boasts a 1.69 points per game record, the third best in the club's history for permanent managers. A former Scottish international has a 49.5% win percentage, only bettered by Roy McFarlane's 54.7% for City managers who have overseen 20 or more games. That is a name that I have never heard of before. If you were a Bradford fan when he was managing, was he better than Alexander? Let me know your thoughts down below. Together, Alexander and Lucchetti have led City to back-to-back Virtue Trophy semi-finals, as well as setting a new club record for consecutive home league wins. That obviously was 10. I think that started in around December and ended in around March sort of time. Alexander said, I am really happy. I've had a brilliant time here in the last 20 months. The success on the pitch only tells half of the story of what we came here for and what we've achieved as a club. Everyone aspires to play in front of thousands of people and in big games, and we have that opportunity here every week. You have to start placing the building blocks from day one. What happened at the end of the season was a culmination of a process. I had no doubt I wanted to extend my stay. What we have done already and what we can do again, I feel there is serious potential here to grow and succeed once again. His assistant Lucchetti added, I am delighted to be a part of the future. We played a big part last season in taking the club to the next level, and our challenge is now to keep that momentum going. We have loved every minute since we have come in. It has been a test, but one we have really enjoyed, turning this football club back around and on the way to where it should be. I'm excited about next season. There are some great games to look forward to. The fixtures are out and I cannot wait for it to start on Saturday. There are plenty of mouth-watering fixtures, and I'm sure Valley Parade will be packed regularly. City Chief Executive Officer Ryan Sparks said, we are thrilled to have secured Graham and Chris's services for the next part of our journey. Their new contracts are richly deserved, and our challenge now is to kick on together and work towards achieving new heights. Graham and Chris are great people and carry our culture and values with dignity and pride. We have had a fantastic relationship since the very beginning, and I've already made some great memories with hopefully more to come. Our full focus is now next season, which gets underway this Saturday in front of a packed house at Valley Parade, and we are very much looking forward to what we can achieve in the next 9 months and beyond. And obviously you've got some pictures here with David Sharp, Ryan Sparks, obviously the two main men at the moment. You've got one of Alexander on his own. He looks incredibly awkward in that photo. And then obviously you've got Alexander and Lucchetti as well. For me personally though, I am absolutely over the moon, delighted, ecstatic, whatever you want to call it, that Graham Alexander has signed a new contract with Bradford City. Obviously, he still had another 12 months-ish to run on his deal. It was set to expire in 2026, so it's technically just a 2-year extension, but it is a new 3-year contract because I assume he's got a nice big pay rise with him obviously achieving the promotion, and it's completely deserved regardless of what happens next season. And in the unlikely event that we've not picked up a single point, for example, after 10 games, and we might need to have a change, I do not see that happening in a million years, but let's say the worst case scenario that does happen, I think Alexander's earned that nice long payout that he would get, you know, being the manager to take Bradford City back to League One after so many managers have failed when they've used hundreds of different players. The fact that Graham Alexander's managed to do that, I think he's not only a brilliant manager, but a brilliant human being as well. Anytime that I listen to him talk, he was on a podcast just a couple of weeks ago, and I was listening to him, and I think, I am so behind you. Like, you could punch me in the face and I'd run around for 90 minutes on a football pitch for you. I think he's a brilliant motivator, brilliant manager, brilliant human being, and I'm just absolutely thrilled. There's not really much else for me to say. Fair play, Bradford City. You know, at the time when Alexander was appointed, I was a little bit confused by that, maybe saying Alexander shouldn't have been appointed, despite saying that Mark Hughes being sacked was the right thing to do. I was also confused about how we'd given another long-term contract out to a manager, but looking back on those comments, I still probably do stand by them, because I didn't have the trust in the club to make the right decisions, considering how many bad ones we made. There'd been 4, 5, 6 previous managers to Alexander where we'd given out these longer term contracts and they'd been sacked within a year of most of them. We were constantly chopping and changing manager. It's brilliant that we're going to have a little bit of stability as well at the football club, and I think Alexander is an absolutely fantastic manager. We play some brilliant football. You know, Alexander still gets labelled with this tag of his football has to win because it's very ugly to watch. For me, he plays the best football I've ever seen at Valley Parade. It's not walk ball passing out the back, but it's also not hoofball. It's a brilliant mix. It's high pressing, high intensity stuff. You look at that Middlesbrough game, 94th minute in a pre-season friendly, in a match we pretty much already won, and you've got 7 players hounding the Middlesbrough defence, winning that ball back. He sets standards very high. He's honest with players as well. You know, you don't see anybody come out afterwards and talk about Alexander kind of threw them under the bus a bit or kept them in the dark. He always communicates very well. I don't think there's a flaw in Graham Alexander. I think I love him, to be honest. And you go back to when Alexander was appointed, he'd just come off the back of being sacked from MK Dons, where he had enjoyed his worst points per match sort of ratio, joint obviously with his time with Motherwell. You know, his last 2 jobs, okay, the Motherwell one you got to take with a bit of a pinch of salt, but especially MK Dons where there was the big pressure, big expectation. It was just never the right fit there though, and they didn't give him enough time. I think if they would have stuck with him, they would have comfortably got out of the division before that Bradford City did, but their loss was certainly our game. Despite how good Despite how good Bradford City have been under Graham Alexander, this is still not the best he's ever performed as a manager. He actually performed better against while he was at Scunthorpe United, and obviously in the 23-24 season we had a few really bad days. You know, I remember specifically them 4 games in a row around March sort of time. It was Harrogate away, Forest Green at home, Notts County at home, and Mansfield at home, where we conceded like 12 goals, scored 1. We were absolutely awful. Swindon away in the January, I remember that being an absolutely dire game of football. There was even the odd game last campaign where we were garbage. You know, you look at Notts County conceding 3 goals in 4 minutes. But last season, we had so many happy memories, which we enjoyed as a fan base, as a squad, as a team. Everybody was together. But I don't think I've really got much else to add. Fair play to Bradford City. Brilliant news that Alexander's going to be staying around for the next 3 seasons. Let's build on the promotion from last campaign. Let's have a season of stability. Next season, we can have a little bit of a flirt with the playoffs. But then in that final year of Alexander's contract, I assume we probably will get another extension if we're still on the same trajectory by then. By that point, who says we can't go and challenge for the playoffs in League One, where we should be? You know, that is the position that the club were in when Stefan Rupp and he who shall not be named took over, and that is where we need to get back. But Alexander staying on and Lekete for the next 3 years is absolutely fantastic news. So I'm going to leave it there for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me and subscribe to the channel as well. If you are new, can we try and hit 200 likes as I mentioned at the start of today's video? And don't forget to get your thoughts in down in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Bradford City manager and assistant manager Graham Alexander and Chris Lekete both signing new contracts with Bradford City to remain at Valley Parade until the summer of 2028? Absolutely brilliant news. Fair play to all involved. One thing I would note though, there's no comments from David Sharp, who is head of football operations, but we've got comments from the CEO, who is obviously the head of the business. Let me know your thoughts on that as well down below.